Hi everyone, and welcome to this brief overview video. And what I want to show you here is a pretty important change we've made to the study maps that we have on the Firms Consulting website. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what a study map is, it is these things. If you click on the executive programs, whether it's the market entry strategy, whatever it is, these maps give you a visual overview of what's happening in the study. Now, as you can imagine, developing these maps is pretty complicated. It takes an enormous amount of effort to first develop them. Second, you got to code them. Now, the problem we find is that once we've coded them, and if we find better ways to explain a concept or if we want to expand the map, it's actually a lot of work to do it. So you've noticed that these maps are not available on the strategytraining.com website in the same format. And I know some of you are going to say, but Michael, I found the maps quite useful. Now that you've taken them away, I don't know what order to watch things in. Well, I've got good news for you. Because if you go to the strategytraining.com website, click on Browse, and then let's go to one of the studies. Let's go to the Corporate Strategy and Transformation Study, for example. You can see there's no map here, right? Now, there actually is a map. It's right here. The MAP Corporate Strategy and Transformation Study. You can download it. Each of the studies have this, right? So Market Entry Strategy Study, there's the map there. Let's go to the other one, which is the Merger Strategy Study. Media Coverage, map of the Merger Strategy Study. You can download the map. But there is a big difference between the maps on the strategytraining.com website and the firmsconsulting.com website, and that's what I want to talk about. Now, you'll notice that some of the studies don't have maps yet. Like the operations study doesn't have a map because we just released it. We're going to try to do the study in a way where a map is not needed, but if we feel a map is needed, we'll push out the map. Okay, if you feel you'd benefit from seeing a map of the operations study, let us know in the comments or in the forums, and we'll put it out for you, right? The moment we're not planning to do that because the operations study is the more advanced version of the book Succeeding as a Management Consultant. And you can simply follow the book, which is a kind of a map. But for other studies, we may put out a map. But anyway, let's click on Corporate Strategy and Transformation Study, right? Okay, so now let's assume you've downloaded the map, which appears here, right? And let's assume you just want to watch episode 4, Feedback from the RFP Committee and CEO. Go to episode 4, Feedback from the RFP Committee and CEO. If you want to watch episode 10, what is happening with the market and our competitors, you just scroll down to 10. Now, they don't always appear in the order in which you want them to appear, right? For example, look at this. 10, 12, then 11, 13, then 35. The reason we do this is because we put them in the order in which they should be watched. So you validate the strategy storyboard, then you view the revised proposal with the strategy additions, and then you send the letters. It's 13, 35, 14. So you can see here it's 13, 35, 14, right? Now I know it's a bit confusing, but remember we are making changes, so we have to make these additions. So this is how you use the numbering, right? But there's one other enormous difference. Right? Let's scroll down to the next update that's coming for this study. Right? It's a very big update, which would be, you go down here, week 4. Right? Week 4 is the next update that's coming. So we go here, and let's look at what week 4 is. Here's week 4. Ready to understand the corporate strategy stream. This is what the map looks like on the strategytraining.com website. As you can see, it's very different. We start very quickly with the case studies. We go into the workshop and so on. What we've done is we've decided that it's very confusing for people if you went straight in to the case studies. So what we've done is we've put in a whole new section explaining the technical logic of how to do this workshop, the limitations of the workshop format, and the operational details of how to run it. You can see those are slightly grayed out. And then we move into the actual workshop itself, which you can see are solid colors here without being sort of made semi-transparent. and all of the grayed out areas are inputs into the workshop. So the maps on firmsconsulting.com are not the latest versions. That's why we're saying that if you are a subscriber on firmsconsulting.com, you're not going to get the latest version of the content. We are making significant upgrades to better explain things, introduce new techniques, and those upgrades will only show up on strategytraining.com. So if you go to the strategytraining.com website and you want to watch this particular part of the corporate strategy and transformation study, it will look different versus if you watched it on the firmsconsulting.com website, because the Firms Consulting website has a simpler version with less supporting material and less explanatory material, right? So the numbers correspond to the videos. The numbers may not always be in order because you shouldn't watch the videos in order. We have put the videos into the order in which we think you should watch it. The numbering is obviously correct, but just because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 appear in this order, maybe we'll decide, well, you need to watch episode 17 here. So we'll put 17 in here on this website. And you can see a little bit of that here. But when you are watching these videos on the strategytraining.com website, go through this map, use it as a guide, print the map if you need to, and keep it with you. Because it's the only way to know where you are in the study. The maps are very important. Otherwise, it's very hard to keep track of the study, right? So let's do another one just to make sure you're comfortable with it, right? Let's go to step 2, which is week 1, right? Let's go to week 1. So we go to week 1. There we go. Right. So you can see it here. It's easy to follow, but if you want to know how may I see feedback from the focus groups, where does it fit into everything, you can go here. And you can see everything, right? May I see the feedback from the focus group? You can see step 6. Step 6. And where step 6 fits within the overall process. So these maps are important because they allow you to see the order of everything that appears here, but they're also equally important because they contain additional content that the maps on firmsconsulting.com do not contain. Now, we think this is an easy way to use it, but if you feel that we can make adjustments and changes, let us know, and we'll be happy to take that feedback in.